And literally, I came to Berlin being like, the same thing is going to happen here, and that was not the case.
Why do you think it got so difficult here, or why it got like so? I mean, 100 dates, I think are like 100 not so successful dates, or all of them were so good that you wanted the next experience, or what do you think was?
Well, will I walk you through basically what happened? Like the whole reason that I wrote the book. So as I'd said, I had an easy dating life in Ireland. Came here under the same idea that I will find the man that I want here very easily as well. So I was 6 months living in Berlin, and it came to September of 2015, hadn't found what I was looking for. Got really frustrated, and I had a little weep on a bench after work, and I was like crying to the gods. I was like, please bring me someone. And that very night I met a man in an Irish bar, and we within a week were in a relationship.
Okay.
But then this was a very toxic, abusive relationship that I found myself in for 9 months. So this is the story. This is how it all happened. I didn't realize I was in an emotionally abusive relationship until years later, when another guy did the dirt on me and basically cheated on me. And I thought, well, instead of crying over the second guy, I'm going to go to therapy. And so I went to therapy, and I realized, oh, actually, I had actually been emotionally abused those years before with the first boyfriend in Berlin. And then that opened up the floodgates. I was just like, how come I didn't know what manipulation, gaslighting, love bombing, and all of these things were when I was in that relationship? I felt something was wrong. I just couldn't pinpoint what was happening.
Okay.
And so then it was years later. And so I wrote the book as a guide for other people to understand what toxic traits are in people, what red flags to look out for in people. And so, yeah, basically it just went from there.
And was he Irish?
No, English. A London boy. They're always trouble. Very sexy.
Now that you mentioned red flags, what are the red flags that you have detected, or that you what are the red flags that you would say those are very obvious when you're dating?
Like it's different for everyone, but for me at least, I find I can pick up now when I know some guy is being too pushy, if someone's texting you all the time, and if they're like, hey, why aren't you texting back? If they're kind of making a fuss about things, I'm like, mate, chill out. I've just met you. Let's take this slow. There's so many red flags. I have a section in my book, because I honestly, at this stage, I know everything about dating, but sometimes you just forget to you forget certain things. But say, for instance, like telling someone that they've cheated on their ex before is a huge red flag.
Okay, yeah.
Right? I mean,
yes.
So with this toxic relationship, so many red flags were thrown in my face, and I didn't recognize them.
If he tells you, I have cheated to my girlfriend in a past relationship, that's a big red flag.
Yeah, take note of that. I mean, I know people have their reasons, but read the room a little bit. What is this guy like? Was he, gloating about it? Was he, showing off?
I know one related of that. It is that she cheated with the girlfriend with you.
Yeah, that's risky too, because how could you trust someone if they've cheated on their boyfriend with you?
Yes,
exactly. Oh God, I would run a mile if that happened. No way, because it's all about trust at the end of the day. I know you hear some beautiful love stories that last forever, where someone did leave their wife for you, and now you've run off into the sunset together, but it's kind of unheard of, especially in Berlin.
Yeah.
So shall I read out a few of them?
Yeah, of course.
I'm really looking.
You kind of put me on the spot, because I haven't dated for so long. I'm like, God, I actually need to read these out. So this guy, for instance, he was very hot-tempered, and he would get angry when I would hang out with my own friends.
Oh,
that was a huge thing.
Okay, that sounds like Latin America.
Oh, really?
Every guy in Latin America.
But keep going, because you already said two that are could be every Latino guy.
Okay. Oh, thanks for warning me. Right. Okay.
Now we're telling her not to date any guy from Latin America.
Well, look, we can't paint everyone with the same brush. But so this guy was also having problems with me having male friends. That was a huge thing, because this guy was massively insecure. Okay. So this is basically books about Latin American fellas arguing when I wanted to spend time alone. He did not want to be alone, and if I would want to just be in my own apartment, there'd be war.
Okay.
He was trying to get me to wear certain clothes. He was like, "Oh, don't wear that. Wear this. Don't wear too much makeup. Oh, you should be wearing less mascara or all this." He was kind of trying to control me in that sense. Yeah, he was not taking responsibility for lots of things, basically. And what else? Being hot-tempered, of course, when someone is extremely aggressive. That's a massive red flag.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And when you hear them screaming down the phone to their baby mama, you know, that's all. It's all very what's the saying? Telltale signs. It's a telltale sign.
It's your native language.
I think I am nervous now, to be honest. But yes, I mean, there's so many red flags for everyone, and it all just depends. But those were mine with this particular guy.